Hey there, gang. I'm MyRadar meteorologist Matthew Cappucci, actually at the airport right now en route to Florida to cover Milton. The biggest threat with Milton will be storm surge, enough in spots to alter the topography and the landscape of Florida where it hits. A worst-case scenario would mean 10 to 15 feet of storm surge, inundating parts of the coastline and leaving some homes and or businesses likely underwater. Remember, the greatest surge will be near and just south of the eye, where you have the strongest onshore winds given Milton's counterclockwise flow. Unfortunately, weather models indicate that's very likely to occur somewhere along the Florida Gulf Coast. The biggest question is it Tampa, Siesta Key, Sarasota, down towards Bradenton, even Fort Myers or Port Charlotte? We don't know yet who gets the worst surge, but somebody will. Unfortunately, a best-case scenario for Tampa might mean a worst-case scenario for places like Sarasota. And there were some overnight weather models, the hurricane-specific ones, that take the eye near or just north of Tampa Bay, which would put Tampa Bay proper under those westerly onshore winds, giving them the worst case scenario surge. So again, the impacts could be serious to extreme. You'll notice, however, the National Hurricane Center's forecast track is a little bit farther south. Suffice to say, we don't know who yet, but somebody between near and just north of Tampa Bay down towards Fort Myers, somebody in that zone will likely see a 10-foot plus storm surge, and that will bring potentially devastating impacts. In addition to the surge, we'll see winds gusting 100 plus miles per hour at the immediate coastline, probably 80 miles per hour, give or take, in places like Lakeland. I'd say 75 miles per hour plus in Orlando, so a lot of power outages. Tampa, Sarasota, y'all might get gusts, give or take 90 to 100 miles per hour if you get inside that core of Milton. And don't forget the rainfall too, a general 6 to 8 inches with localized 12-inch amounts, so there could be some freshwater flooding even inland. Take that seriously too. Now again, I'm at the airport right now. You can see it's busy behind me. I'm en route to Florida and we'll be with you every step of the way in the MyRadar app. So diving right in, Milton was a historic Category 5 monster yesterday, a buzzsaw of sorts. Its eye was about 12 degrees warmer than the surrounding air, so it's warm in the middle. It's like a chimney lifting up air, and that sucked air up and away from the center, meaning about 11.5% of the air that should have been in the middle of the storm was missing, and that missing air drives a vacuum effect that causes strong inward suction, and you got 185 mile per hour winds at peak as the storm was north of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. The eye itself was only about 4 miles wide, very reminiscent of Wilma's kind of pinhole eye back in 2005, and in fact, this storm had the lowest air pressure in the Atlantic Basin since Wilma back in 2005. Now today we'll see a few minor fluctuations in strength between Category 4 and Category 5. It will still stay over the open ocean, but I think into tomorrow it starts to transition. The max winds will come down a little bit, so on paper it might weaken, but that wind field will likely expand. The reason for that is twofold. Number one, you see this jet stream dip over, I'd say, the southeastern United States. Milton will begin feeling those disruptive changing winds with height. It'll be kind of knocked off kilter and in the process expand, which is bad for surge. And number two, some dry air will try to infiltrate the circulation. So like we said, max winds might come down a little bit, but it's just like the ice skater spinning. If you throw your arms, you slow down a little bit, but you trace bigger circles. So again, Milton's wind field will expand, causing more surge impacts. I think the worst arrives Wednesday evening. It'll push a big surge ashore, perhaps in Tampa, Siesta Key, Sarasota, maybe down towards Port Charlotte. We just don't know yet. Then overnight Wednesday into Thursday, the storm marches across the state with very strong winds, causing power outages in places like Lakeland, Orlando, maybe all the way towards Daytona Beach. Expect very heavy rains too. Now, of course, surge is the biggest danger. MyRadar will be covering that. Erica will be live streaming. Mike will be live streaming. I'll be in the field as well, along with Jordan Hall. Please stay tuned and ultimately stay safe.
Follow MyRadar on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Download MyRadar on iOS, Android, Amazon Alexa, and Windows.